everybody. I'm excited to be here today. And look who I've got with me. Super excited to have David Breaker with me today to chat all about his Amazon account. And I'm so excited because David's been selling on Amazon for years, huge amounts of experience to share. And I'm really, really excited to have him here with me today. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Karen. Lovely to be here, obviously, and always happy to try to support people that are starting their early sort of journeys on Amazon, because as we know, it's not always an easy journey, but it's a journey definitely worth doing.
Yeah, definitely worth doing. So tell us a bit about you and the start and how you started your Amazon business for people that don't know you.
Yeah, of course. So Amazon was started 4 years ago, but I will say it wasn't just me. It isn't just me. In actual fact, it was me and my partner, Richard, which many people know. He's part of Secret Wealth Project and part of the group. But it was started about 4 years ago when my partner got a tax rebate of about $1,500 roughly. He got it from his private care work that he was done. And everyone kept saying to him, just put it in a savings account. Best thing to do. Put it in a savings account, you'll earn money. You'll earn the money out. And we were like, no, we'll earn £1 a year if that, you know. So it wasn't going to be worth it. And so essentially he started to research. That's when he found Secret Wealth Project, or more importantly, Matt Webley. You know, I don't want to give him any more kudos than he already has, because I know he's a great man, honestly. But I don't want to beef him up too much, because Matt gets enough as it is. But but definitely, you know, Richard came across there, and actually, we were quite fortunate that a friend that was living with us, he had a friend in America that came over, and he was an Amazon seller in the US, and actually he was a millionaire. He was like an 8-figure Amazon seller. So, you know, we were able to pick his brain, actually get some ideas, and because I think certainly in his early days, I think, and I'm sure you've noticed this, Karen, with the support you do for people that start doing their journey for Amazon, it's a huge amount to learn, and it's scary. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's a bit.
Yeah, it is. There's definitely a lot to learn. It feels like hard Everest when you first start, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think certainly, I think because it seems like such a big task, that's what puts off a lot of people. And without being particularly horrible, I think for a lot of people, there are people that say, selling Amazon is a bad idea, it doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. But I think I think personally, I think it's a mindset thing. I think people don't realize that it's a long-term game and that you have to play the long term. And certainly our Amazon business, it started with that 1,500. It's now a 6-figure Amazon business. All VAT registered, and not that I like paying the tax man money. I don't.
Definitely not.
Is what it is, but the journey, it's been a really great journey, because we've had our ups and downs, and in fact, you know about that yourself, Karen. You obviously remember in the first year we had our account suspended, and it was really stressful. And you were there to help with us. So again, you know, if people aren't, I know that people, if I remember rightly, they can, if they're part of one RF2s, they get the suspension safeguard. But I know that, isn't it true that you're bringing out a service soon that will be like they can subscribe for bits, so they actually get these suspended safeguard? Am I correct? Have I got that correct? Or
yeah, they've got the option of suspension safeguard, which they can purchase, which is like obviously for just a low monthly sum, and then if and when people get suspended, we're there to help them and hold their hand as they manage their suspension, free of any additional costs. And then we've got suspension assist, which is like a low cost service to help someone who has already been suspended, whereas suspension safeguard is not for people who are currently suspended. Suspension assist is for people that are already suspended, and we help them manage their suspension. And then we're just launching Suspension Pro, which will be a done for you whole service. So yeah, we've got obviously, like the team and I, years of experience of looking after suspension stuff. Yeah.
And it was so, honestly, that journey, you know, as you've always said, people jerk reaction, they panic, and the worst thing to do is that they contact Amazon straight away. But luckily we had you there. We approached you, we emailed you, and I've always said, to be fair, Karen, I genuinely mean this. you are the queen of customer service. There is no one that does customer service better than you. And I know everyone will agree with that statement. It's not a full statement at all in any sense, is it?
Bless you. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you. I think our support team would definitely give me a run for my money because they're doing awesome. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words. You made me blush.
Oh, bless you. But it's true, Karen. You've at the end of the day, our Amazon journey, when you really think about it, it hasn't just been our journey. It's been a journey with Secret Wealth Project. It's been a journey with yourself, with Matt Webley, with Natalie Cromie, and all the other members of Secret Wealth Project. Because the point is, I think I've certainly learned now that if you try to go down this on your own, it's a really hard job. And it's about connecting with the people that are like-minded, that want to support you and that actually get what you're going through and get what you're trying to do. Because you're going to get, the honest truth is, you're going to get people going, "What are you doing? This is crazy." And
yeah,
I've always get frustrated with people that if someone says they want to start a business, they start to poo-poo all over them. "Don't do that. It's a really bad car. It's going to always going to spend £1,000 on a brand new iPhone."
Yeah,
just do it. Yeah, buy it. Yeah, get that monthly subscription. Pay your £100 a month for that phone. It's like
spot on. No, it's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. It's crazy, isn't it? It's bonkers. If we all supported each other more and did more in that way, it would be much better and much nicer. So I'm glad we've managed to create that environment a little bit to help sellers, definitely. So you took your business from £1,500 to 6 figures in 4 years, which is amazing. Did you add any extra capital during those 4 years, or did you just build it up your inventory as you went?
We added certainly in the first year, because obviously we quickly realised. I mean, the initial investment, we quickly realised actually this was worth doing. So we added a little bit in, but I would say after the first year, we added nothing extra. Okay, and it was purely just self-feeding. But again, in a sense that for us, it started off as a bit of a side hustle in many ways, as it often does for a lot of people. And the first sort of 2.5, no, nearly 3 years roughly, actually probably less than that, about 2.5 years, we didn't take anything out. Yeah. Okay, we genuinely didn't take anything out. Everything that was earned, we just kept in the business, kept in there. And it sounds crazy. People say, "Oh, crazy! You didn't pay yourselves anything," but we were looking at the long-term mindset. Now, Richard, because it's a company now. Richard, we're both joint directors, but Richard's on the payroll, so we're taking money out of there. But again, we're always mindful of the fact that it's about growing it up. And I remember those early days of finding the deals on our own, manually sourcing. I remember trying different deal sourcing things and different like softwares and stuff like that. And some of them worked okay, some of them didn't. And it was that learning curve. And again, I always say to people, is learn the ropes. So learn Keeper, definitely learn how the Keeper works and how Amazon works, certain little things. Like a common mistake I see a lot of people do is they don't read the reviews very quickly on a listing. Just quickly check the reviews, because if there's any issues with that listing, you will quickly know. If you get lots of, "It's the wrong item, it's the wrong item," you know straight away then. But people don't think about these sort of, this is a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what other tools do you use? Do you use BuyBotPro?
We do indeed use BuyBotPro. Huge fans of BuyBotPro. Absolutely love it. And I genuinely do not think, I know that there are other things out there that do something similar. We can't get away from that fact, but they don't do it. As far as I'm concerned, BuyBotPro does it the best. And the great thing about BuyBotPro, which I've always loved, is it is always getting better, right? Every single, I'd say even month actually, if not more, there is always something that's being tweaked, that's being added, that's being refined, new things, new parts of it being constantly added. And I think, to be fair, price has never gone up. And that says it all, really, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, we always make sure we look after loyal clients and customers and just lock them in at the price that they pay. And then it doesn't matter what we add, we just keep your prices the same. So you use Profit Protector Pro 2.
Yeah, indeed, we do.
What is your favourite Profit Protector Pro strategy?
To be honest, we just go with balanced. We're quite happy with the balanced one. Yeah, because I won't lie. I know that there's more we could do with Profit Protector, but we kind of want it to do its job and we pick one thing, go with it, put for me and Rich, definitely a large part of, and I know there are other sellers that are doing better than us in what, I mean, again, the term is what's better. A lot of sellers, they're on it full time. Okay, yeah. and they will put more time into that. It's fair enough. We don't look at it like that. This business for us is we want it to be as passive as possible.
Yeah.
And that's how we lead about it. Because I run other business. I'm a life and weight loss coach, and I run a wellness network. I don't have the time to be in it full time. So Profit Protector definitely has been a huge part of that benefit of making it more passive. It's just fire and go. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do, Profit Protector Pro as well. Just let it do its thing, because it does all the magic by itself. It doesn't need any help from any humans.
Yeah, no, very true.
Okay, so when you're sourcing, do you have like a maximum amount that you want to buy for any one product? So you say like, am I going to ever buy less than 10 or less than 100? Do you put those sort of maximums in place in your business?
For some items, yes. I remember our early days. We'd buy like one or two because we weren't sure. We were learning. This is 4 years ago. Yeah. But now we're literally like, okay, we'll buy 10, we'll buy 20, we'll buy 30, we'll buy 50. The most we ever bought of a single item was, I think, 250. We just went, oh, that'll do. And that was a really good, because that was a razor. And that was something like, I think it was a £5 profit per one.
Wow, fantastic.
So it was a night, yeah. It sounds like I'm like, ooh, nice. So definitely, I think for lots of people, I think it's building up your confidence in the deals, and actually, and we're at a position now that our turnover is quite a large, and there's so many different models when it comes to it, about whether you buy a short amount of items that are very high, high profit, or whether you go for more the large amounts of items that give a smaller profit. Yeah. But our model is shifting, sort of, and adjusting. So we are starting to cap it out and actually start to order more. Although it's awkward with certain websites, for example. I know some people don't like Boots, but Boots is very fiddly. You have to. Yeah. Is what it is.
Yeah, Boots don't much like resellers, do they? They like to make it as difficult as they possibly can for us.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And to be fair, I know all of them are a bit funny. And actually, I don't mind sharing this. Actually, Complete Savings recently, we actually they shut our account down last month. I was going to post about it, but I forgot to. But they've 3 times they asked us for receipts, which we sent. And then the last time they've just said, no, you're against term of service, we're closing your account, which is. I know we're not the only people. I think other people are finding Complete Savings just shutting people down.
Yeah.
So top cashback it is.
Resellers are a bit like estate agents, aren't they? They're liked about as much as estate agents by a lot of companies. But whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's crazy though, because I remember. We all remember Toys R Us, and I remember, if Matt Webley sees this, he'll remember it. I remember him talking about how Toys R Us were insane, that they were constantly cancelling resellers' orders.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Toys R Us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bonkers. Yeah.
It is bonkers.
Yeah, they do. They damage their own business. It's silly. Yeah, unless they're loss leaders, then I don't understand why they would do that. Why does it matter who they sell it to? As long as they're making profit on the sale, then they should just sell the products. Just sell them.
And the thing is, even if they're okay, but then from my mind, from a business mindset, if they're selling lots of loss leaders and that's where they're getting annoyed, then surely the business is in peril anyway, because they keep selling loss leaders. They can't keep doing that. So.
Absolutely. So listen, Boots, if you're listening, stop being a pain with your orders. Let us see your items, right?
Yeah. Because otherwise it's gonna Not going to lead very well for them.
Exactly, absolutely. So let me ask you a random question. So tell us something interesting or funny about you.
Something funny or interesting. So, okay. Interesting, I suppose, but most people know this, that I used to be 32 stone, which obviously most people, yeah, I'm a little bit slimmer, but I think most people are funny. Something funny, me and Richard have, one of our hobbies is reenactment, so we dress up in period clothing,
Oh,
which
fantastic.
is quite fun.
Yeah, it is.
Quite fun,
yeah,
especially when
you're missing that at the minute, aren't you?
Oh yeah, we haven't been able to do it. Although we're hoping this year we'll be able to get some done up, especially because we miss the connection with people, being around a campfire, engaging with people. Because I know we can do stuff online, but it's not the same. But no, it's we're looking forward to get back in that, especially when we get to fire the cannon again.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, I can imagine that's quite good fun.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Amazon. So when you're sourcing, what sort of ROI do you look for?
So because we're VAT registered now, and we outsource our prep now to one of our friend's son. He comes to our. Right. We get the stock here. It goes to a shed because we did used to use a prep. So now we have to factor in the amount we pay him, and I think we were at a point where our ROI sits anywhere between 10 and 30% because we're VAT registered now. We need to factor that in. So we're looking for the numbers now as within the amount. So we are looking for 30, 40 of an item selling and going over and ticking over. And it's awkward because I've learned, for example, with BuyBotPro, and I was talking with Mark from Passive Tax, that most people use the wrong ROI method on BuyBotPro. They use the one and they shouldn't.
No, they should use number 4. Number 4 is the most accurate. Number 1 gives the best result, the nicest result. That's why they like it.
Yeah, but it's not
mathematically correct. You're right.
No, so we use method 4, and I won't lie. When we shifted over to it 2 years ago, it was a little bit of a 50% ROI, 6%, yeah, 10.
Yeah.
But we've learned to adjust with that now, and it also means that we know that we're taking everything into account. That we know all our figures. We know whether it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
And it's helped the choices of our deals. So it is definitely, guys. Honestly, if you're not sure, speak to Mark for Passive Tax. He'll be happy to help guide you. But definitely, I would say look at method 4.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Method 4 is the most accurate. You're absolutely right. Spot on. So if you were going to give 3 tips to a new Amazon seller, so someone maybe a month or 2 into the journey, so they're not quite brand new, but they're just learning the basics, what would your 3 tips be?
Okay, so my first tip, and this is coming from my coaching perspective, is as much as they think their main investment is going to be either stock or services, stuff like that, their main investment has to be a mix of learning and mindset. Yeah,
very good advice.
Yeah, because this, like any business, this is a long-term play here, right? Yeah. Okay, and most people that are doing this are going to be doing it as a side hustle. They're going to do it as a sort of thing of building themselves up to eventually make it more passive so that actually they can get the income and the dream they want out of it. But if your mindset is not there and it's not key, and definitely, I know she won't mind, but I would actually shout out to Natalie here. Definitely suggest that you look at the Elite Sellers Academy, private members community, because they not only cover and teach this stuff around Amazon, but they do so much. They do a lot of stuff about the mindset and about actually being a business owner and being in the zone, because it's really essential.
Yeah,
really essential.
You need to see yourself as winning and succeeding, don't you? You need to be able to visualize it and see yourself achieving that.
Yeah, totally. That's right. When you emulate and look at the our world's most successful entrepreneurs, a lot of them will actually visualize. They're the type of people that will visualize where they want to be and actually really give it space. Actually, so that's my dream, that's my image, and of where I want it to be. I'm sure Matt does it all the time, just sitting there visualizing.
Yeah, that's a busy chap, but yeah, he definitely does that. He definitely is, you know, he's a hugely successful entrepreneur. So, you know, his mindset is absolutely where it needs to be in terms of success and looking forward for things, because he's achieved so much. So yeah, definitely, he definitely does. Yeah, I remember once I was doing that. I was driving my old car, and I was driving down the road, and I'd convinced myself so much that I'd bought myself a new car. When I got out of the car, I was like devastated that I was still in my old car. I'd made it so real in my head that I was going to get this new car. And that's what you need to do, isn't it? You need to make it really real in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as human beings, we if we think positively and we actually and we'll create and manifest the energy and thoughts and world that we want to live in. So if you're in a negative space and thinking negatively, that I can't do this, I'm not going to get this, I'm not going to get there, then that's where you'll stay. But it's absolutely about pushing yourself, saying I'm going to make this happen, okay? Because it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen easily. If it happened easily, we'd have literally a world full of Amazon sellers and all this stuff. But it doesn't work like that.
Absolutely, that's a brilliant first tip. So let's have another one. Let's have another tip.
So definitely second tip is it's sort of related to the next one is to learn. Is definitely very important to learn, and I would certainly suggest that to learn, you absolutely need to look at BuyBotPro and Profit Protector Pro. Yeah. The BuyBotPro is, I actually, as much as I think to take it a step forward, it does. It's actually an amazing learning tool, really, for a new seller, because it's given them the overall snapshot of if it's a good deal or not. And that's something which takes time, and it's a gut thing. I think I found you kind of trust, is that a good deal or not?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got your back all the time, hasn't it, with its confidence score, letting you know whether, because to get that confidence score, BuyBotPro is looking at thousands and thousands of data points, more than the human could do in any short period of time. It's looking literally at thousands of data points. So it's that person, it's almost like that person looking over your shoulder or going, oh, look, you missed this about that deal, or you missed this, or you didn't see that. So it's just that extra reassurance, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. And I would say the challenge is you're learning so much, and you're trying to understand, you know, the little intricacies of Amazon, but BuyBot will help you with that, because of, you know, how it displays the keeper chart, how it shows you the data, and that's where and actually at its core, that's something which is very important. And I suppose leading on, it's about, to lead on the idea of learning, it's very important, I would suggest, that you invest in a deal sourcing service, I would say, rather than software. So, for example, online arbitrage deals, if anything, even if I would certainly, I'd actually say it's the learning you'll get from those deals. So it will give you an idea of the stores to source from. It gives you an idea of the type of items that sell, and that's a bit of a learning curve. And doing it on your own manually, that's really, very hard. Yeah, it can be quite demoralising, especially if you spend like a whole day doing it and it's your day off because you're working full time. Yeah. Spend a whole day finding no deals. Oh, that is a hard thing.
Yeah. And that's when it leans back into your first point about the mindset, when it's really hard to find deals and you sit there, as you say, all day on your day off and you don't find anything. It's just so easy then to spin into like a negative cycle about it. It's too hard. It's too difficult. I can't do it. I'll never get this. All of that, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And again, it's look. I get it's going to be hard, guys. It isn't. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy for you at all, but you do need to just keep pushing and say, look, you know, and certainly one of the suggestions I would have is, if what you're doing isn't working, change it up, learn again. You know, ask out in Secret Wealth Project, ask out in, you know, for support, and say, I'm doing this, it isn't working. What do people think? And I think you'll find most people will come back and say, yeah, they'll give you ideas. Because they're not going to give everything away for free. So it always makes me giggle when you see posts in Secret Wealth project or these Amazon groups, people asking for, what exactly are you sourcing? No one's going to give you that.
Absolutely. Definitely not. Okay, so let me chuck in another random get to know you question. So if you were to go back in time, what would you tell your 21-year-old self?
That's a good question. So bear in mind, when I was 21, I was living in Gray's End then. I was living with a friend. And I was pretty big then, obviously. I was a good like 26 odd stone, working in the Wetherspoons pub. I remember that. I would definitely say to myself that stop putting yourself down and stop saying you're not good enough. Because I'm sure a lot of people will connect this. We say this all the time when we really just say, I'm not good enough, and we put ourselves down and win. And for me, I've come to learn that we've got to stop comparing ourselves to other people and what they're doing and what they've got. It's not a good place. And it's also a very unfair comparison. It's like the most unfair comparison in the world.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely say.
Sorry, go carry on. Now you carry on.
No, well, yeah, I was going to say that's what I would say to myself. Don't put yourself down. You have something to give, and you're going to change the world.
Fantastic. That's lovely. That's really lovely. And definitely the only person I think any of us should be in competition with are ourselves, and making sure we're better today than we were yesterday.
Yeah,
that's how we should be in competition, not with anyone else, just with ourselves.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And even if and I'm for people that are business, for business mindset, they're learning their business mindset. It's so essential that you spend. Okay, you do need to look at what other people are doing, and you need to look at what other businesses are doing and learn and emulate from them, of course.
Yeah.
But your main focus in your business should always be you and your business. Do not think and compare yourself to your business and put yourself down, or I never understood, and I'm sure I know you've actually had this happen to you, Karen, where you've had other businesses that have gone out of their way to poo-poo on your business. Yeah. It's not a great place you do not want to be that type of business person. You're not that business person that is poo-pooing over other people. Don't focus on everyone else. Focus on your own stuff. Do what you're doing.
Absolutely. It's just bonkers. I just think when people do that to us, I just think if you put all that effort into your own business, then you'll be building a better business. Stop focusing on us and copying what we're doing and focusing what we're doing. Do your own thing.
Yeah.
Put your energy in your own business. Yeah.
No, definitely.
Good advice. Okay. So if you woke up tomorrow and there was £100,000 extra in your bank that you were allowed to keep forever, what would you do with it?
I'd put it in the stock.
You put it into Amazon stock?
Well, that would be one of the things to do. I would invest it. I would absolutely invest it. So I would invest it in a part into Amazon. I'd get more stock there. I'd also invest. I'd invest in my coaching business. I'd pay for some sort of passive stuff, course content that I've not had the time to do that I want to do. I'd get that set up because again, it's as much as. The thing is with Amazon, some of it's you have to be very active, but you can get it to a passive point. And the point here is, at the end of the day, we're building our businesses so that we can live a life. We're not building our businesses so that we can work.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not the type of, honestly, I'm not the type of person I'm not the type of person that would buy a brand new, a fancy car or anything. I wouldn't do it anything like that because I've kind of learned that life, as much as money is an important thing to have and it helps you pay the bills and it helps you have a roof over your head, it's about the people you want to spend it with and the life you want to lead. And I think people spend a lot of time chasing after that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but it's not really.
No, money won't make you happy. Definitely not.
No.
Got to be happy.
That answers it.
Yeah, it does answer it. Answers it great. Okay, so cats or dogs?
Dogs every time. Why would I want cats? I'm sorry, I can't stand cats. I always, do you know what? It sounds really, really silly. Silly. That's my dyslexia. I always, whenever I walk past a cat, I always feel like the cat is looking at me and planning my death. You know, sort of like the evil mastermind thing. Like, yes, I will, Mr. Bond. I will find a way to. Oh, sorry, obviously, I don't know. I just got this weird. That sounds weird. I don't like cats.
Okay, so private jet or super yacht?
Private jet or super yacht?
And you can't say both.
Probably the yacht.
Yeah, me too. Me too, definitely. Okay, so do you think there's anything that about your Amazon business that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you that people would find interesting?
Interesting. I can tell you a funny story.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so this is about 3 years ago now, and this was Richard who done it, but it was so there was a product which was a ladies' feminine hygiene thing. Without going into too much details, and it was a product which had the super and regular.
Right.
I won't go into huge details of it, and we ordered a load of them because they were selling, and it was and we ordered them at the local. At Asda's, and it will. This is so funny. Basically, something like 50 of each, right? Okay, so he's ordered 50 of the super and 50 of the regular, and it was around February time, and Richard's gone to pick it up, and this member of staff's come out with these boxes of this stuff, and they can see on the order what it is, and they're going, it's a lot of ladies' feminine products, that's right. And he went, Richard, bless him, he kept a serious face for this whole situation. He didn't crack up until we got out the shop and pissed himself laughing. But he basically went, well, he said, I'll tell you what it was. He said, my wife came out the toilet the other day, and she had this box with her, and I asked, I was curious and asked what it was, and she sort of hid it and said it was her favourite chocolates. So I thought, oh, okay, that's a bit weird. So he said to me, so what I'd done was I snuck in and found the box, and I noticed that she had super and regular. I noticed the box. I wasn't sure what it was, so I ordered it, but I didn't know if it was a super regular. And because for Valentine's, I thought I'd buy her favourite chocolate treats. And this member of staff, apparently her face was like, and I can't help but imagine she probably went home that day to her family. You will not believe the moron at work today.
Definitely did, yeah. She definitely did.
Definitely. But no, he kept honestly. Apparently, he kept an absolute straight face through the whole thing, and then just pissed himself with laughter outside. Bless him.
I can imagine doing something like that.
Yes, he's very cheeky. So
he is definitely. Okay, so you lost all your weight and you run a coaching business as well as your Amazon business, and you said you run another one as well. So tell us a little bit about those as well.
Yeah, of course. So my coaching business has a mix of life and weight loss coaching. So for me, because I'm a man that's been at that point that was 32 stone, unemployed, gaming addict, doing nothing in my life. I'm not entrepreneurial, actually, Karen. I'm not naturally entrepreneurial. My parents didn't own property and all that. I didn't understand any of this stuff. I've had to learn a lot in 4 years, but luckily I got help. So for me, I want to help other people do that now, because I've understand that challenge of not knowing where you want to be in life. And again, with the weight loss, it's a huge passion of mine. I love being able to help people manage that. Yeah. But on the other end, I also run a network for wellness professionals that helps connect them with like-minded people, and also promote them on a web page with a directory and stuff like that. And again, a lot of it's all sort of built up for passive income, for supporting people. And it's quite nice because it means all of our businesses, what with the Amazon mixes in with it all, that we have mixes of passive income. And in fact, one of the things that I was talking to Natalie the other day, she was giving some support. We're actually looking at outsourcing a part of our deal sourcing, so that we will actually get someone that will actually go through the deal sourcing that we use, obviously online arbitrage deals, and then they will then purchase it, and it just means that 80 to 90% of our business is passive.
Yeah. So is that the plan? Is that the plan, to build because obviously you're really busy at the moment, is that the plan to build like all these into a passive income and then just do the bits that you love and have your time to yourself going forward?
Yeah, 100%.
Why?
Yeah, that's well, yeah, absolutely, that's my why, and that's where, and I'm a firm believer that if I wanted to, I could be retired by the time I'm 50.
Yeah,
I know it's going to happen, and I know the position that me and Richard are working on. And again, it's like anything; it comes back to the mindset. Is it easy? No, it's really hard. It really is hard. It takes a lot of time and effort. I've certainly I've done so much networking in these last 12 months online to grow the businesses, and it's quite interesting actually, because I don't actually talk about Amazon from a networking point of view, because you kind of don't need to network with it apart from that very tight-knit people. But definitely, I might need to talk to Matt Webley about actually doing. I actually reckon what would be nice actually as an option. I need to talk to Matt about it, but maybe the idea of doing some form of like online networking once a month or something for Secret World Project. People just log on Zoom and have a bit of a chat.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about doing some sort of online conference or something that we could do, because I think it's going to be a while before we're going to all be able to get in the same room together. So we were talking about that the other day. So yeah, we should definitely chat to Matt about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because again, it's about that networking, isn't it? It's about that connecting each other. They're like-minded.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I've got my final question for you. If you could go to dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be? So
the first one would be Stephen Fry, 100%. I love that man. Absolutely, he is a national treasure. Yeah. Such an amazing character, and a really inspiring man when you think about his challenges with his homosexuality and acceptance, and also his own mental health. Really, really huge. I would honestly, I would sit there at a table, sort of look on my face, just in awe. So that's one, Stephen Fry. Who else would I pick that I'd want to sit down and have a dinner and a chat with? I'd actually quite enjoy talking to Steve Jobs, actually. I think there was a real business mindset there that I think would be quite fascinating to really pick apart, his choices and why he done what he done. So that would be quite fascinating. I'm not going to say Jeff Bezos, because most people probably would say that, because it'll be like, get the inside. Who else who would be the third person that I'd want to spend dinner with? Ooh, that's tricky.
What about someone like Peter Jones or Richard Branson or someone like that, maybe? Or maybe the Queen, or maybe Muhammad Ali, or maybe Roger Bannister. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably, actually, I'd actually quite enjoy speaking to Gandhi, actually.
Yeah.
Because I think, there's an interesting mindset there, and it's an interesting sort of thought processes that he went through, the choices that he made and what he was trying to do. And I think sometimes people look at a lot of, and this is true for everyone, that they often look at entrepreneurial people that are successful, for lack of, and what is, again, it brings up what is successful. But I think they look at it and think it's easy for them, but actually I think he went for a lot.
Yeah.
Like everyone does. Like we all have.
Yeah. Your dinner party sounds like a very good affair. Can I come too?
Of course.
Oh, David, it's been lovely. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for chatting to us and letting everyone get to know you. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure as always, Karen. Absolutely.